Ambiguum 8, from St. Gregory's same oration, on love for the poor. For as long as matter carries within itself disorder, as if in a flowing stream, after man had been brought into being by God, resplendent with the beauty of incorruptibility and immortality, he chose, instead of intellective beauty, the relative deformity of the material nature surrounding him, and consequently lost the memory of his soul's exalted dignity. Or rather, he became wholly oblivious of God, who had beautified the soul with divine form. It was thus that man plucked fruit, which, according to the divine decree that wisely directs our salvation, was commensurate with the inclination of his mind, and so drew down on himself, not simply the corruption and death of his body, but also the capacity, and indeed propensity, for all the passions, and not least the instability and disorder of the material substance that surrounded him, along with its facility and susceptibility to suffer change. This happened either because God, on account of the transgression, mixed the soul together with our body, and placed within it the capacity to undergo change, just as he gave the body the inherent capacity to suffer, undergo corruption, and be totally dissolved, which is made clear by the girding with dead skins, according to Scripture, which says that creation itself was made subject to corruption, not willingly, but for the sake of him who subjected it in hope, or because God created matter in this way from the beginning, according to his foreknowledge, in view of the transgression he had already seen in advance. His aim was that man, through the suffering and hardships inflicted on him by matter, might come to an awareness of himself and his proper dignity, and gladly detach himself not simply from the body, but from matter as well. For the infinitely wise God, who providentially directs the course of our lives, often allows us to use things naturally according to our own impulses in a way that leads to our correction. We see this at times among those who become frenzied in their abuse of material things, for by means of the very confusion and turmoil which both surrounds and is generated by these things, God redirects irrational lust for the things of this life to a natural object of desire. For there exist, they say, three general ways by which our passions are educated and healed. In each of these, God wisely uses the disorder of matter as a healing treatment for the evil vexation of the passions, guiding it in an orderly manner, in accord with a higher principle, to the good end ordained by God. First, we are made to undergo punishment for our former sins, of which perhaps we may through ignorance have not even the slightest recollection, or even if perchance we were to remember them, we would not endure to accept making the appropriate correction for our transgression, either because we are unwilling or unable to do so, owing to our deeply rooted bad habits. Second, we are either purged of our sickness or expel from ourselves the evil which at present is lodged within us, and learn in advance how to resist the evil we will encounter in the future. Finally, God provides the conditions for particular individuals to become marvelous examples of faithful perseverance and courage, if, of course, they are of noble mind, have a reputation for virtue, and are able, in their steady struggle against adversity, to reveal within themselves the truth which till then had been concealed. In this manner, St. Gregory counsels those who are incapable of turning their minds to anything beyond this present life, and who take confidence in their bodily health, and in the fact that their affairs flow along according to their own plans, not to exalt themselves over those who lack these things. Because for as long as the present life lasts, and they too are encircled by corruption, turning in the wheel of mutability and change, they do not know what will happen to them, owing to disturbances of the body and disruptions of their external affairs. Thus, I think that when he says, "For as long as matter carries within itself disorder, as if in a flowing stream," he means nothing other than, for as long as the world is subjected to corruption and mutability, and we are clothed in this body of our humiliation, we are thus subjected to a myriad of troubles that arise from it on account of its inherent weakness. For as long as this lasts, then, we should not be puffed up with pride on account of the inequality that is all around us, but instead, we should in wisdom try to smooth out the irregularities of nature, which knows no differences of distinctions or honor, meeting the needs of others from out of our own abundance. Perhaps then, this present condition of inequality was allowed to prevail, in order to manifest the capacity of human reason to prefer virtue above everything else. For the alteration and mutability of the body and of external circumstances are for all human beings one and the same thing, a carrying and a being carried along, and the only thing it has that can be called permanent and stable is its impermanence and instability.